can you understand any English?
Spanish, please.
Spanish, we'll have to get an interpreter. All right, we'll bring him back at the end and see if we can get language line to work. You have the number for language line up here somewhere?
Oh, okay. Wants to save that girl.
What was that bond on him?
I don't, 1 second, Judge, I have to pull it up. My offer was gonna be, Judge, misdemeanor, credit for time served, and court cost, so he would be released. So,
We don't have anybody in the jail that can speak Spanish? Well, we'll try language line. If I can find the number, we'll bring you back at the end. John Beagles.
Oh, sorry.
Come on up here, Mr. Beagles.
Mr.
Charged
Beagles,
with battery on an officer, 24 CF 27.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Beagles. So he has previously been found incompetent, I guess, and unrestorable. So at this point, we would like to continue to have, continue the case to have an evaluation done, because we're going to pursue that as well.
that's fine, Your Honor.
All right, till when?
Your Honor, I guess we would start with 226.
February 26th?
Yes, sir.
That's not going to be enough time. They're
I
not-
agree.
Let's go to April 22nd.
April 22nd?
That's
How about
fine,
that? Okay?
Yeah.
April 22nd at 9 a.m. Mr. Gibbs, okay? Huh?
Bobby Moore Bean. This is 24 CF 29. He's charged with driving with permanently revoked driver's license and leaving the scene of an accident. You are Mr. Bobby Moore Bean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there any offer for Mr. Bean?
It's for 18 months of probation. Plead as charged is a third-degree felony, level 1, 18 months probation, no driving without a license.
You want to accept that, or you want a public defender?
18 months probation?
Yeah. Would you please raise your right hand and be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for this course of truth, so help you God. You want to enter a plea of driving on permanent revoked driver's license, a third-degree felony, and leaving scene of an accident without giving information. That's a misdemeanor, isn't it, Ms.?
Yes, it is.
So you want to enter a no contest plea to those two charges?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea? Your right to an attorney, right to remain silent, right to a jury trial, right to have the state prove its case beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt, right to put on witnesses. You're waiving all those rights and even others if you enter this plea. You understand
I
that?
haven't even talked to an attorney or anything yet.
Well, I just asked you, would you like to have an attorney?
Oh,
Or you?
yeah, please.
Okay, well, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Thank you.
Come back. Yes.
At this point, we'll enter a not guilty plea and request trial by jury.
All right, come back February 26th.
Gibbs is going to be your attorney.
April 22nd. Come back April 22nd,
Thank you, sir.
4/22, okay? Sarah Christina Black. Is Miss Sarah Christina Black here? No bond, capious. She was noticed to be here, right? Jamie Marie Correll. says Jamie Marie Correll is what I got.
Sorry, Ms. Correll, Jamie Marie Correll?
Checking to see if they got notice. All right, no bond capious. Martin Anthony Davis. This is 23 CF 2864. Mr. Davis, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription and possession of narcotics equipment.
Your Honor, the state has made an offer that I want to convey to him.
Okay.
All right. Your Honor, the offer the state made was for him to plead to a misdemeanor paraphernalia for court costs, $270 plus $50 plus $50. Does that sound correct, Ms.?
270, yes, yes. The only thing, just to be precise, it was to dismiss the felony count. He pleads to count 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Davis, would you please raise your right hand and be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for us court's the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
You want to enter a plea to a misdemeanor possession of paraphernalia, and the state's going to dismiss the felony. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea, the rights I just explained to the other gentleman?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea? Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Sentence you to court costs. And that's it?
Time served and
Withhold
court
it.
cost.
Pardon?
It's adjudication of guilt.
Adjudication of guilt and standard court costs.
Yes, sir.
Okay? No probation, no jail time. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Downstairs at the clerk's office.
Curtis Allen Farrell. This is 23 CF 2842, State versus Curtis Allen Farrell. Mr. Farrell, you're charged with resisting an officer with violence and trespassing to a structure or conveyance.
Your Honor, we're going to enter a not guilty plea, request trial by jury.
All right, April 22nd. Thank you, sir. Kelvin Ford. This is 24 CF 51.
I have an offer, Your Honor, for
They make you stand over here.
Mr. Ford.
All right, Mr. Ford, you're charged with possession of drugs without a prescription and possession of narcotics equipment. They have an offer for you.
Yes, Your Honor, they do. If you could give me just a moment, please. Your Honor, he has indicated that he would like to accept the state's offer.
Mr. Ford, would you please raise your right hand and be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for us court's the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
And is this a possession, is it to both counts or just one?
He's charged with the possession of controlled substance, which is a felony for count 1, count 2 paraphernalia. So the state dismisses count 1 for a plea to count 2.
They're going to dismiss the felony plea to misdemeanor. Okay. You want to enter a no contest plea to possession of narcotics equipment, a misdemeanor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Judge guilty, sends you to standard court costs. Okay? No jail, no probation.
Thank you.
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Jonas DeWitt Hughes. This is 24 CF 38, State versus Jonas DeWitt Hughes.
Judge, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty, demand trial by jury in 15 days for any pre-arraignment motions for Mr. Hughes.
All right, April 22nd.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, sir.
Michael Jackson. 24 CF 58.
I'm standing here, Mr. Jackson.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you are charged with trafficking in meth, smuggling contraband into a controlled substance, possession of cocaine, third degree, and possession of narcotics equipment.
Yes, sir, I'll be entering a plea of not guilty on his behalf, request 15 days for any pre-arraignment motions, and demand trial by jury.
April 22nd. Thank you, sir.
Okay. No problem.
Kyle Jensen.
You come over, Mr. Jensen.
This is 24 CF 26. Mr. Jensen, you're charged with aggravated battery on a detained person in jail or prison.
Judge, I'll enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf, request 15 days for pre-arraignment motions, and demand trial by jury.
All right, thank you. April 22nd. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Christina LeBlanc.
Judge, Ms. LeBlanc is ambulatory by wheelchair.
Okay.
If she can remain where she is.
All right.
Judge, I'm going to do the same with her, enter a plea of not guilty, demand trial by jury, and request 15 days for any pre-arraignment motions.
All right, this is Christina LeBlanc, 24 CF 39. You're charged with passing a counterfeit instrument and petty theft. April 22nd, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Get with your public defender, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Danielle Nicole Manis, 23 CF 2271.
Your Honor, Ms. Manis is approaching.
Ms. Manis, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, possession of narcotics equipment. What you want to do?
Judge, this is going to be a plea. Ms. Manis, I gave you a copy of this plea agreement earlier. Did you have a chance to read it and look it over?
Yeah, I did.
Do you need to ask me any other questions about it? You asked me a question real quick up here, and I explained what a withheld was. But do you have anything else? Do you need me to set it off for you to come to the office or anything like that?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. If this is what you want to do, let me get your signature right there. Ma'am, do you mind if I go ahead and date it for you?
All right.
Okay. There you go. Sure. Yeah, and this is what I already have in the file, and it fits. Okay.
Ms. Manis, will you please raise your right hand and be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for this court's the truth, so help you God.
I swear.
It's a plea to a withheld in court cost, Judge.
All right, you want to enter a no contest plea to third-degree felony, possession of a controlled substance, possession of count 1, 2, count 2, possession of less than 20 grams of marijuana, count 3, possession of paraphernalia. Those are both misdemeanors, and the first one's a third-degree felony. You want to enter a no contest plea to those charges, correct? And you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form? You aware of the rights you're, yes? Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea? You have to answer out loud.
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea? Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today? Are you happy with the work Mr. Williams has done for you on your case? Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Court's going to withhold adjudication on all counts. $515 court cost, $100 cost of prosecution, $50 PD app fee, if not already paid, and a $100 PD fee. Okay, so withheld means you don't have a conviction. All right? Thank you. Zachary Neal.
No problem. Judge, likewise, this is a negotiated plea.
This is 24 CF 28, State versus Zachary Neal. Mr. Neal, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for is course of truth, so help you God. Thank you. You want to enter a no contest plea to possession of a controlled substance, a third-degree felony, and resisting without violence, a first-degree misdemeanor, correct? Did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevents you from knowing what you're doing here today? Have you been threatened to enter this plea by anybody or forced in any way? Are you happy with the work Mr. Williams has done for you on your case? Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Court's going to see a judge guilty, sentenced to time served, $515 court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, $50 PD app fee, $100 PD fee, and there's no probation, correct?
That's
Okay.
correct, Judge.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
No problem. Judge, I believe that's all I have at this time. I'm going to check and see if my 2 o'clock people have been brought down.
Crystal Patashek. How do you say that? Patachek? Crystal?
Yeah, Judge, go
Right here.
stand to the left.
How do you say your last name?
Paycheck,
Pardon?
paycheck,
Paycheck. Okay.
sir.
This is 24 CF 20. Would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for is course of truth, so help you God. Okay.
Your Honor, she is before the court on the charge of child abuse without great bodily harm. She's going to enter a not guilty plea, request trial by jury.
All right, April 22nd. Thank you. Get with your public defender, see if you can get it worked out. Garrick Reese. Oh, there's no information filed?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with Ms. Rivers, and I indicated what the state's intent was to file on the child abuse. We've already discussed the case. We're working towards the resolution of that in this paycheck.
All right.
We could just leave it on for that date. It should be filed by tomorrow.
All right. Garrick Reese?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, he doesn't have an attorney, but I have had an opportunity to convey the state's early offer to him. He's currently here for arraignment on 1 count of possession of controlled substance and 1 count of possession of marijuana. So if the court wishes to arraign him, I have conveyed an offer of a withhold on count 2, which is just the misdemeanor, in exchange for a plea to count 1, dropping count 1, and the sanction would be misdemeanor cost of prosecution, which would be $50, and then misdemeanor court costs, whatever that is for a drug misdemeanor count.
All right,
So-
Mr. Reese, you are charged with possession of a controlled substance, a third-degree felony without a prescription, and possession of marijuana, a misdemeanor. The state has offered to drop the felony if you plead to the misdemeanor. Is that adjudicated or withheld?
It's a withhold, Your Honor, so it would not be a
Withhold.
conviction.
And I'll sentence you to cost of, court cost and cost of prosecution. You want to do that?
Sir.
Would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give forth is the course of truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You want to enter a no contest plea to the charge of misdemeanor possession of marijuana, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea
Yes, sir.
that you've heard me explain to these others?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
The court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. The court accepts it, sentences you to standard court cost and cost of prosecution. And the court's withholding adjudication, and there's no probation or jail time.
Then if we could give him 180 days to pay those costs.
Okay. If not, they'll go to a judgment. Okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dwayne Robinson. This is 24 CF 59, State versus Dwayne Andrew Robinson. Mr. Robinson, you charged with fleeing, attempting to elude at high speed, resisting an officer without violence, and kidnap, false imprisonment of an adult. You don't have an attorney. Would you like the court to appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Court appoint public defender to represent Mr. Robinson.
Your Honor, we're going to enter a not guilty plea. We're going to request trial by jury. We'll
April
just ask-
22nd.
Yes. I'll be able to see you, okay?
Tamore Ross. All right, this is 24 CF 14, State versus Tamore Ross. Mr. Ross, you're charged with false imprisonment of an adult. Is that a third-degree felony on that? Okay, it says you have no attorney. Is there any kind of offer?
The offer, Your Honor, is going to be pretrial intervention. You have the contract here, if doing that, or he can have an attorney appointed and resolve today.
Pretrial intervention means if you do these things, they'll drop the charges against you.
And I'll get nothing. I can walk away scot-free.
If you do that, is he going to be entering a plea, but the charge will be dropped if he does those things?
That's right.
Let him, I tell you what, let me appoint the public defender to represent you.
I was going to get a private one, but if
Well,
it's going to be, if it's not going to be that serious.
Well, I mean, it could be. We want to make sure you do
All right.
the correct, what you feel is best for you. But typically, a pretrial intervention agreement means you enter a plea,
But that's a plead guilty, right?
no contest, which means you're not admitting you did anything wrong, you're not denying it, but it's treated as a guilty plea. But
It will show up on my record.
if,
If you complete, there's some things that you would have to do.
what are they asking?
Have no contact with the victim. Attend and complete an anger management course, no alcohol or drugs without a prescription, and possession of no weapons, and then there's court costs. And then once you do those things, it be supervised, I guess, for 12 months, but if you do that early, for termination, that it's 6 months. And if you do those things, then we dismiss the charges against you. When is the due date?
Can I talk to my attorney about this? Because I don't want to.
Yeah,
It's a bunch of.
I got you. All right, yeah, who's your attorney?
Right now, I'm trying to get Thomas Shaw.
Tim Shaw?
Tim Shaw, yes.
Okay, well, get with Tim and tell him that you have a possible pretrial intervention offer. You don't have to accept it if you don't want to, but if you do what Ms. Glisson says, if you do it within, you got a year to do it, but if you do it sooner, it'll dismiss your charges at 6 months. But talk to him about it, okay?
Yes, sir.
And come back on April 22nd,
Okay, sir.
okay? So, all right, you got
Want to
it?
get a copy of that?
He'll give it, he'll get it,
All right.
okay? All right, thank you. Nicholas Schaffner. Isn't this a rerun from this morning? Am I thinking of something else? It is?
Your Honor, it's supposed to be on this morning, but they didn't have to bring him over.
Okay.
So, and Your Honor, we've resolved, we've reached an agreement in this matter, Your Honor, if we may approach, and it's going to be for two cases, 21 CF 166, 23 CF 2878.
All right, Mr. Schaffner, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for is course of truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You want to enter a, let's see, is it no contest, I guess?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want to enter a no contest plea in 23 CF 2878 to a misdemeanor, a lesser included offense, and in 21 CF 166 to
As charged.
battery on a detainee, a third-degree felony. So you want to enter those pleas on those two cases, correct?
Your Honor, it's going to be, he's going to enter on the battery on the detainee case, he's going to plead to a misdemeanor, a lesser included misdemeanor battery. And then on the criminal mischief case, he's going to plead as charged, which is the felony case.
So in 21 CF 166, he's going to plead to criminal mischief.
Yes, sir.
And in 23 CF 2878, he's pleading to a lesser included offense of misdemeanor battery, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You want to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea? Anyone force you or threaten you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today? Are you happy with the work Mr. Rivers has done for you on your case? Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. In 21 CF 166, you're sentenced to 3 years Department of Corrections with credit for time served since March 1st, 2021. And the state stipulates that you're entitled to 1,074 days credit. You are sentenced to pay $1,159.95 restitution to DJJ, $415 court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, $100 PD fee, all monies to collections. And in 23 CF 2878, you're sentenced to credit for time served, $625 court cost, $50 cost of prosecution, $50 PD fee, $50 app fee, and he's adjudicated on both counts. And all cases, all counts are to run concurrent with each other. All cases, all sentences, and all counts. So you got 3 years in prison, but it looks like you've served. Sir, looks like you got served. You're all served up, right? I mean, has he got, how many days is he going to be doing down there?
I don't know, Your Honor, but he doesn't have many.
Probably. I mean, when you go in, they knock off like 15%. So you probably be shipped down there and released. Pardon?
If he's good, they'll knock it off.
Yeah, if you're,
Disciplinary action.
yeah, but you'll get to the reception center and they'll probably do a medical checkup, and with all this credit for time served on a 3-year sentence, they'll probably say, here's a bus ticket. So don't mess up, okay? All right.
Mr. Schaffner.
Thank you. Cordell Thomas.
Your Honor, Mr. Thomas is present and approaching.
Okay. This is 24 CF 24. Resisting an officer with violence, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, possession of narcotics equipment, and false ID to a law enforcement officer.
We're going to enter a not guilty plea, Your Honor. Request trial by jury.
April 22nd. Thank you, sir. Vivas, let's see, Meet Kitan Vivas. 23 CF 2844. Mr. Vivas, you're charged with drug possession without a prescription, third-degree felony, operating a motor vehicle without a driver's license, without a valid license, and possession of less than 20 grams of marijuana. Is there an offer for the state?
Yes, Your Honor, if he wishes to resolve today, the state would offer to plea his charge to all counts, receive a withhold of adjudication on all counts, so it would not be a conviction, and there would be a $100 cost of prosecution and $515 in court costs. No probation, no jail.
You want to do that?
Yes.
Is one of these a felony here, the drug possession without the prescription?
Yes, Your Honor, the possession of a controlled substance, that's the felony.
All right, you want to enter that plea?
Yes.
Would you raise your right hand and be sworn? You swear the testimony you give before this court's the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
You want to enter a no contest plea to the charge of possession of controlled substance without prescription, a third-degree felony, operating a motor vehicle without a valid license, a misdemeanor, first degree, and possession of less than 20 grams of marijuana, another misdemeanor. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt, which means you won't have a criminal conviction, but you want to enter that plea?
Yes.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes.
Anyone force you or threaten you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today? Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it, withholds adjudication of guilt on all three cases or counts. Sentence you to a $100 cost of prosecution, $515 court costs.
We give him 180 days to pay that.
180 days to pay it, or it goes to judgment.
That's fine.
You pay it to the clerk's office. Okay? And withhold adjudication on all three counts.
May I approach with the score sheet?
Yeah. All right, so you don't have a conviction on these, okay? Okay. All right, thank you, sir. All right, well, let's see. Now, is there anyone else here for arraignment? What's your name?
Oh, she came in.
Burrell?
Mentioned her earlier, Your Honor.
Did we send a capias, no bond capias?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you're not on time, you end up picking up a capias, you know? Come on up. Come on up.
Yeah, I do have an offer for Miss Corral.
All right, this is 24 CF 37, State versus Jamie Correll. The court will withdraw the capias.
The offer is to dismiss, okay, first of all, she's been charged with possession of controlled substance, count 1, and failure to have required insurance coverage, count 2. I would ask for a plea to lesser included paraphernalia for count 1 and as charged count, and dismiss count 2, because I think she secured the insurance for court costs.
You want to do
And I-
that? Ms. Correll, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give before this court is the truth, so help you God. You want to enter a no contest plea to the charge of possession of paraphernalia, and the state's going to dismiss the financial responsibility violation, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
So she's pleading to a misdemeanor, correct?
Yes.
And is that for a withhold?
She has prior misdemeanors in her records. I leave it up to the court.
Or withhold it means you don't have a conviction for it. You aware the rights you're waiving by entering this plea? Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea? Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today? Are you happy with the work Ms. Rivers done for you on your case? Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it, withholds adjudication of guilt, sentence you to pay the standard court costs, correct?
Yes.
That's
Your
it?
Honor. That's it.
180 days to pay it, or it goes to a judgment. Thank you. All right, anyone else for arraignment? What was your name, please, sir?
Darren Lewis.
Lewis, come on up. I didn't have Mr. Lewis on my docket. Oh, Ms. Flowers has already entered a not guilty plea. She couldn't be here today. What's he charged with?
Darren Lewis.
Darren Lewis?
Stolen property and
Dealing in stolen property?
Dealing in stolen property and grand theft, all those, what they say.
All right. Well, your client, I mean, your attorney's pled you not guilty, so all right, so we'll set you for April 22nd, okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Stewart.
I assume the men's case is probably going to take some time. That's correct.
All right.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. May it please the court, Brad Stewart on behalf of John Russell Harvard, 22 CF 1810, Your Honor.
All right.
As Mr. Harvard approaches, if I can pause just for a moment as he signs the previously reviewed plea and sentencing agreement, Judge.
Everything we went over, we'll put back in, no contact. That was an original requirement.
Yeah, I ain't been in
And you know
contact
that.
with them.
You know,
They need to do an in-depth investigation on this case.
even if they try to contact you, you can't have contact.
I don't want to have nothing to say to them.
I know.
I'll see them in court whenever this is over.
Your Honor, may I approach? Your Honor, at this time, Mr. Harvest is prepared to admit the violation of probation with the understanding that the agreement will be for the state to reinstate and modify his probation for 2 years community control. He will not be within 1,000 feet of the victim's residence, $100 VOP fee, no contact with the victim, and must complete original requirements.
All right, Mr. This is State of Florida versus John Harvard, 22 CF 1810. Mr. Harvard, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for is course of truth, so help you God. Okay. You want to admit that you violated probation?
Yes, sir, I guess I have to.
Did you
Under
read
the
and sign?
circumstances, I am admitting, under the circumstances.
All right. Or did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Yes, sir, I did.
You aware the rights you're waiving by entering this admission?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened
No,
you?
sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir, just my liver's messing up on me pretty bad, sir.
Okay. Are you happy with the work Mr. Stewart's done for you?
I'm very well pleased, sir.
Very well pleased. Okay, very good. Court's going to find the admission is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Going to reinstate probation, modify to include 2 years community control, not to be within 1,000 feet of victim's residence, $100 VOP fee, and complete original requirements, no contact with the victims. And is that 2 years community control, when does that run or start?
Judge, he was originally placed on 5 years of supervision. I believe there's going to be 2 years on standard reporting probation remaining after 2 years of community control.
All right.
Correct, Your Honor. He's on till 2028, and we're just taking the next 2 years and placing him on community control, and then he'll finish out the remaining of the sentence.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you, sir.
Judge, that's all I have at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
I'm ready.
Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir. Okay. My last name is Williams. I've been last all my life.
Your Honor, this is Douglas Centerfit from this morning, 23 CF 2440. We've reached agreement in this matter, if I may approach.
All right.
Ms. Rivers, do you have the score sheet?
No.
Okay, let me grab it for you.
Mr. Centerfit, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for is court's truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is State of Florida versus Douglas Allen Centerfit, 23 CF 2440. You want to enter a no contest plea to the charge of burglary of an occupied conveyance, a third-degree felony, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today? Are you happy with the work Ms. Rivers has done for you on your case?
Yes, sir.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it, sentences you to adjudicate you guilty. 36 months probation. Probation will automatically early terminate at the halfway point if you haven't violated in any way. Take the anti-theft class, no contact with the victim, maintain full-time employment, or show proof of 5 job applications per week. $415 court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, $150 PD fee, waive cost of supervision. Okay? All right, thank you. Bullet boy.
We're going to request a continuance and ask to have this reset.
How about February 29th?
Yes, Your Honor, 229 at 2 p.m. It's going to be a contested VOP evidentiary hearing.
All right.
2 o'clock,
February 29th. Your attorney is out sick today, so.
And Mr. Gibbs will be back out to see you, okay? But he was out sick.
Is it Mr. Hart?
I'm sorry?
Hart?
Hart? Yes, sir. Mr. Hart's going to be a plea judge. Again, there's no pass-through back there, so he's going to have to sign it up here with me, but I did go over it with him. All right, let me get your signature here. You mind if I date it for you?
Do you have the score sheet? I think I will.
Well, if I do, I have the one that you send over, which usually we can't use for some reason. Here. Actually, we could. You just need to put the date in it. Mr. Hart, I'm going to have to correct an autocorrect area. I'm going to bet this is not the first time that's ever happened to you.
Could I just, I gotta put the date.
Oh, okay. Judge, this is Christian Hart, not
State of Florida versus Christian Hart, 21 CF 2283. You want to, Mr. Hart, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for is course of truth, so help you God. You want to admit that you violated probation? Did you read this and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form? Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea? Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea? Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today? Are you happy with the work Mr. Williams done for you on your case? Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Adjudicates guilty, revoke and terminate with a new term of probation of 2 years community control. Enroll and complete ECLC program. $100 cost of prosecution, $50 PD app fee, and $100 case resolution fee. What's the case resolution fee?
It should say
It's the
restitution.
PD fee, Judge. $50 of it is the
Wait,
application
It's
fee.
$100 what now?
It's a $100 public defender fee.
It's not a case resolution fee.
Well, it's for resolving the case, as opposed to the application.
Well, I resolved the case, I should get the $100 fee.
I don't get it either. I don't know what they do with the money. I think it goes in the general state coffers, Judge.
All right.
I don't know that it even comes back to our office.
Okay, well, I never seen resolution fee. I thought maybe it's a new thing from the legislature, us judges get $100 for every case we resolve.
No, sorry.
I guess that don't work, so, okay. Thank you.
All right, Judge, thank you. All right, good luck, Christian, okay?
Waive cost of supervision.
Oh, okay, okay.
What, we got something with Mr. Harvard?
Your Honor, if I can jump in and recall Mr. Harvard.
Okay,
There's just a housekeeping matter. Mr. Harvard is terminally ill. He does have a number of doctor's appointments he's going to have to visit. I wanted to address it with the court. The court has no objection to him traveling to those doctor's appointments with proper notice to the department.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well as out of state if necessary.
Where we would have the problem, Your Honor, is if he has to have a doctor's appointment while on community control in Alabama, in Mobile, we have to have the court's permission. And if we can go ahead and get that on record now, then I wouldn't have to come to you at a later date.
yeah, he's got permission to travel.
Okay.
In-state and out-of-state, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
He would have to provide
Yeah.
documentation where he's going, not just based on his.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have it documented, but.
They'll be notified wherever it's at.
All right, thank you. Where are you going?
Oh, that's just saying, I was gonna ask you, Judge, if I may be excused.
Oh,
Now, you got at least one more.
I do have one more.
Yeah. Hitifer,
Jennifer?
Hitifer.
Oh.
Judge, this likewise is going to be a plea to the court. She'll be entering a plea to count 2, grand theft from a dwelling or curtilage, and count 1, the burglary of an unoccupied dwelling is going to be null property.
Did I sign it, sir?
is this a misdemeanor plea?
No, it's not. It's still a felony. We'll still need a score sheet. Yeah, I probably do. Hang on a second. Let me look. This is one, Judge, where she had gotten arrested in another county. She's actually serving a state prison sentence on that. So I do have a score sheet. The date's going to have to be changed on it, though.
Thank you so much.
old case. Yeah, she's been serving a state prison sentence. And that's the count that she's pleading to. That's why there's only one count.
Yeah, Mr. Mintz, how long is that hearing going to take, you think?
A bit, probably.
A bit? Like 10 minutes?
All right, Krista. Get your signature. Here, would it be easier for me to put it down here?
Yes, sir.
You mind if I date it for you?
No, sir, go ahead. I'm not doing it myself.
No, don't worry about it. Damn, if this is the worst thing that happens to me all day, it's going to be a good day. I do too. All right, Judge, here we go.
All right, this is State of Florida versus Christy Nicole, how do you say your last name?
Hightower.
Hightower, okay, that's right. As 21 CF 2283. Ms. Hightower, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give before this court is true, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You want to enter a no contest plea to grand theft from a dwelling or curtilage, a third-degree felony, and the state's going to dismiss burglary of an unoccupied dwelling, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So they're going to dismiss the second-degree felony. You're pleading no contest to third-degree felony. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Yes, sir.
You understand the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes, sir, I do.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Are you happy with the work Mr. Williams has done for you on your case?
Yes, sir.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Judge you guilty, sentence you to 12.1 months state prison, concurrent to any sentence now serving. Credit for time served since October 18th, 2022. And what is receipt at Gadsden?
That's the basis for that date. That was when she was received at
Oh,
Gadsden CI.
I got you. So she gets credit from October 18th, 2022, right?
Yes, sir, Judge.
Well, you've already done your time then,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. And so that is it, except the court further orders you not to ever commit another crime.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Judge. Judge, I've got one more.
They listen to that when I order that, too. You got what now?
I've got one more.
Okay.
Nico Herbert. Judge, I'd hope, come on forward, Mr. Herbert, stand over next to me.
How come none of these people are on my docket?
Judge, he was just transferred over from, he had a sentence downstate, and we brought a motion in order to have him transported up as soon as he was sentenced down there.
Okay.
So he's actually been in the jail, what, 2 or 3 days, maybe?
On the 2 o'clock docket?
Oh, okay. You didn't show up on my jail.
Nico
so
Herbert,
Tuesday.
okay. 2020 CF 1014.
Yes, sir. We don't have an agreement in the case. We're kind of fighting over a score sheet on it.
Okay.
So what I'm going to ask to do is pass him out until 2/27 or 2/29, whichever date the court's using.
229 is better.
That's fine, Judge.
All right, you're charged with battery on a jail employee.
It's actually a VOP, Judge.
Oh, it's a VOP?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, well, hopefully we can get it resolved for you then, okay? All right, thank you.
Okay, sir. Take care.
Now we've got Men's and we've also got Alvarez Ruiz and translator issue.
Men's.
He's your 3850,
Yeah,
Judge.
that's going to be a while. So then we've got the, language line thing. Where's that number?
I think it's in that folder there to your left, that blue folder.
language, Lana. You can speak Spanish, can't
I
you?
can, I don't, but I don't feel too comfortable for
I
a
don't feel
plea.
comfortable, okay.
And I'm gonna say, Judge, he
I got
also-
you.
Yeah, he has an ice hold.
Oh, he does.
So I'm kind of concerned to get him to plead, if that's gonna, even a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
You see?
What we'll do is, I'm gonna bring him out, we'll appoint the public defender, and then they can take care of this, get Mr. Ryder or somebody up here to talk to him.
Yeah, because he does have a bond, but he has an ice hold,
Yeah,
that's why.
that
it's
ice
really-
hold, we'll put him, Miss Anna, put him on, we'll appoint the public defender and put him on February 27th.
And if I can get somebody to give him, or give me his name, so I can let our staff know that we've got the case now.
What's his name?
Alvarez Ruiz,
Ruiz?
Gerardo Alvarez Ruiz, correct?
Thank you, sir.
Just, do you mind telling him that we're
No.
appointing the public defender?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
La Corte quiere de darte un abogado público defensor, y tiene que regresar aquí a la Corte el 27 de febrero. 27. El abogado vas a vederte en la prisión. Tu abogado tiene que venir ahí a hablar con usted. ¿Bien?
27.
Who's going to be Tim Gibbs?
It should be
No,
Tim.
el 27 tiene que regresar a la corte. El señor Gibbs tiene que venir de ustedes antes del 27. Antes del 27 de febrero, de ese mes. ¿Está bien?
Sí.
Sí, gracias.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Somebody will be out to see you, okay?
Disculpe, no voy a salir de aquí de casa, ¿está bien?
No puede salir porque tiene una ice.
Oh, ya.
¿Comprende?
Sí,
Sí.
ya, 27.
Si no, puede ser que el 27 puede...
Un poquito Spanish porque yo hablo en
no hay
dialecto.
problema, la otra vez
Ok.
tenemos una interpretadora aquí.
Ok.
What is, okay, it's his public defender application. I'll take that with me back to the office, okay?
Sí, es per l'avvocato pubblico. Sì, sì.
Gracias.
De nada.
Didn't we have one of the public defenders offer to translate, and he told the client to come back and bring his laundry to the... Didn't he? Instead of his paperwork, he said, bring his laundry back.